Okay. All right, we're ready to get started. Coach, go ahead and get us with an opening statement, and then we'll start with your questions.
Well, we're excited to be a part of a very, very special event. The Hall of Fame Classic is an elite event. It's in a basketball city. Kansas City is one of the elite basketball towns in the country. Obviously, here at T-Mobile, downtown Kansas City. Great field with Kansas State, Arkansas, and Cincinnati. Our opponent tomorrow. All draw. Should be an exciting week, early week, a couple of games, and we're excited to be a part of it. It's always means a great deal as a fan of basketball when you're a part of an event that has Hall of Fame in it. So we're excited. We're looking forward to it. Got a great opponent in Cincinnati, a team that plays and mirrors us in a lot of ways. You start looking at all the national statistics, and they're a team that West has got playing extremely hard. They're guarding, they're rebounding, and they match up number-wise very close to where we are. And so it's we know we're going to have to play well. We know we're going to have to play extremely hard. The Davenport kid is a terrific player. Wes has got tremendous depth, playing 10 or 11 guys. They've got a lot of size. They're one of the leading shot blocking teams in the country with all that size. And we're going to have to execute on the offensive end. And nothing's going to come easy. They're very, very aggressive. They mix up their ball screen coverages. So, we'll have to be better than we were in our last game against Marquette.
Brett, speaking of that last game, when you watch the film of Justin Lewis on ball screens and the pick and pop, what did you guys learn from that?
We didn't close out very well. It's not that Justin hurt you with his athleticism. He's not an overly athletic kid. He's a very, very skilled player. But we had 4 horrendous closeouts, which when we did close out right on him, we did a good job containing him. But we gave him angles. We let him use his size and strength at 235 pounds to get downhill. And we had one where we didn't put our hand up on a closeout, and he made a shot. So he's a very good player, and I think it was more. Some of our breakdowns and our fundamental things that allowed him to have a successful night.
And last one from me, how did Omar grade out defensively?
Very well, very well. Omar did a lot of very good things. He was active. He was, again, it wasn't a game that was a high volume ball screen game, but his activity was good, and he was much better than he was in the previous game against Arkansas State.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, Kofi Coburn is back, huge for you guys. How's he looked in practice? And I know he's going to be really amped up for this game. What are some keys for him, in his first game?
Well, I think one is understanding he's got to let the game come to him. I mean, there's no doubt he's going to be amped up and excited, and Kofi gives you a breath of confidence, an air about him. He's been dominant in practice. He's been terrific. I think he's excited to go out and show everybody that he's worthy of a lot of the preseason hype. And he's a difference maker. We've had guys guarding him that I thought have done a great job, and he's continued to evolve his game and grow. And we'll have to watch conditioning early, and there's nothing like the adrenaline of a game and the emotions of a game. When you haven't played in them for a while, and they can take their toll. So, but we'll watch that early, but I know he's excited to be out there, and we're excited to have it.
Real quick, a second one, if I could. You mentioned some of the things about Cincinnati. For those of us who haven't seen him play yet this year, what do you think some keys are for you guys to come away with a win?
Well, we got to handle the pressure. I mean, they throw a lot of pressure at you. They get in the passing lanes. They throw multiple ball screen coverages at you. Based on personnel. They have 4 centers, all different. And, they adjust their ball screen coverages according to who they have in. So we've got to be very dialed in. We can't just be plain Jane, so to speak, on the offensive end. We've got to know what their ball screen coverages are based on who they've got in. So, and then we got to rebound. We're number 2 in the country in rebounding. And that'll be a great task tomorrow on both ends of the court against this team, because they're very active on the glass as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Brad, how did you mix in practice this week with Kofi coming back in? Was it all back in? Is there going to be an adjustment on the court for your team, getting him back onto the court, so to speak?
Well, I hope the week helped. I think it was as big a piece not just getting Kofi back, but getting Corbello and Trent back and practice full time as well. And it was a week of teaching. We have to clean up some things on the offensive side, demanding execution. But yeah, Brett, we dumped him back in now. It was full bore. We're not gonna hedge our bets any other way on that one. We're gonna ride Kofi's back, and so getting him back in practice was a big piece of what we did this week.
After Andre's game, did you love on him more? Did you grind him more? How did you handle that after his performance at Marquette?
Yeah, both. For Bello, it was nothing more than he just needs practice. He was out forever with a concussion, and you just don't come back from not practicing and not working on your game and not getting extra shots in the gym and not getting, losing your workout, your routines. He just sat idle. He wasn't even at practice most of those days. Our concussion protocols that you go away and so just getting him back involved and in the mix was something that will help him, will help us, and he'll learn from it. There's no doubt about that.
Thanks.
Hey, Brett, I'm just wondering, what was the impact of not having Kofi for 3 games on your team, for better, for worse, do you think, in the long run?
Well, I think that, we lost a game that we shouldn't have lost, and I don't think we lose that game if we have him. But I think that there's a, it's always unsettling. It's unsettling as a coach when you don't have all your guys and you want to start identifying roles, and that's what this team has to get back to now with Kofi. And we know Kofi's going to be a focal point as is, every other team's approach to trying to stop him. So, we've got to keep growing in that area, Jeremy. And that's one of the things that's been tough. I think we'll see as we go forward that we'll settle in and hopefully we can put a long stretch together here where we have.
I think it'll mean for all your other guys to have the gravity of Kofi on the floor in the post.
Well, I know with me, it would give me a ton of confidence knowing that big fella's in there and we can throw him the ball. And there's probably 9 or 10 fouls a game. There's 5 or 6 dunks, and we can't not do the things we've been doing that's made us successful because we think, well, Kofi's back. We've got to keep taking this to the next level. And that's one of the things we've talked about. We got to watch out for.
Thanks, Brad.
Hey, Brad, are there things that you might be able to do Monday, offensively, defensively, with Kofi that either you couldn't the last 3 games or maybe didn't do as well as you would have if you would have been on the court?
Yeah, when you've got the top of the opponent's scouting report is 7 foot, 300 pounds, teams are going to play differently than what they are without him. And, there's no doubt. He demands attention. He's the number 1 roller in college basketball last year. He was number 1 in point to post, front of the rim, guy in the country. You're either going to let him have that, you're going to foul him, or you're going to do everything you can to take him away. And, we saw little glimpses of that in exhibition games, so his attention and the attention that he does impacts opponents probably more than it does us. And then we can play, according to what what their scout is.
With Hutch, you went through shoot around before Arkansas State, had kind of a pregame workout before Marquette. Where's he maybe on that road back?
Yeah, he's been on he was on a minute restriction for a few days this week, early in the week, and then came back yesterday in practice in uniform. So he'll be in uniform tomorrow. We'll see what that looks like. In terms of his playing, but he has looked very healthy and very good.
Thanks, Brad.
Brad, is there an emphasis? I know it's probably two different scenarios in terms of shooting, but is there an emphasis on maybe at Plummer and Carbello just not getting in their own head when it comes to their jump shot right now and where it is?
Yeah, I think any shooter, I was a guy that I missed a few in a row. It'd bother me. And then, I know this Plummer was in the gym. I bet he shot, 5,000 balls this week. And that's the way you get out of it. You've got to go make shots and you got to shoot and you got to figure out where they're coming from. And that's one of the reasons we he hasn't shot it well is, quite simply that he, we haven't executed very well. We haven't, we don't know where they're coming from. And I think that's the challenge of executing better and knowing where you're going to get your shots. So you're prepared and mentally you've practiced them. So, and with Bello, he was out, goodness, it's not easy to come back from being out that long and you don't touch a basketball and all of a sudden expect that thing to go in. So, it's a matter of just getting back. He'll be fine. He shot the cover off of it yesterday and it's just a matter of him, getting back to his routines and shooting the ball.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, guys.
Wait,
All right, stand by. I'll have Kofi here in a minute, okay? Or wait, was there somebody else?
Yeah, I thought there was still a line. I'm sorry, Brad. How did you see Kofi handle this? He's a guy who obviously likes to play basketball, right? Like, how did he handle 3 games not being on the floor?
Like an unbelievable teammate. He was a guy that accepted the consequences. He was, he never pouted. He never, said, this isn't right. He never was that way. He was the guy that, okay, let's move forward. How can I help? And whether that was in practice on the scout team, whether that was on the bench being a cheerleader. In the meantime, he just kept grinding and working for those, 2-3 weeks, whatever that was. And now he's back. So I think it kept him in a great place mentally, just being involved as he's been.
Thank you, Brad.
Brad, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, having some connectivity issues, so I appreciate it. If I can, a question that you've probably got quite a bit in your Oklahoma State days. What emotions come up for you if you were to face Kansas State on Tuesday? What comes up for you facing your alma mater and your relationship with Bruce Weber? What's that like?
Yeah, Bruce and I have a great relationship. When he got the job, Bruce talked to me about staying. And staying on. I chose to go stay with Frank, when I didn't get the job and they hired Bruce but I've been extremely proud of my alma mater since Bruce has been there. And, I think everybody has a certain love of a place they have sweat equity and played. And then I was fortunate to get back there and work as an assistant. But yeah, once the game goes up, once the ball goes up, if we play them, it's just another game with another coach and a different jersey. And, you try to win that game. So, once the game gets going, it's no big deal. But, I've got, Bruce was loved by the Illini Nation. He did great things when he was here. And it's a unique set of circumstances where he was here and I was there and, if we happen to play, but, we're both to a point in an age where, it's all about the game and the players in the game.
Hey, Coach, I just have one quick one. Kofi in the last week has posted a couple of videos on his social media accounts of him kind of doing different shooting drills, whether it was on the perimeter or just kind of mid-range jump shots. How confident are you in that part of his game right now? And maybe, I guess, how much has it grown since last season is a better question.
Oh, it's grown immensely. I mean, he's spent a lot of time on it. And, I think that, when you talk about a guy that has to play in short rolls and shoot 12, 15-foot jump shots and make decisions, again, it's partly one of the reasons we didn't do it last year is we didn't have an off season to work on it, Alex. So, we didn't want to put him in a situation to not be successful. Now that's all we've done. And we've spent a lot of time on it. He's very confident. And, so I got no problem putting guys in situations where we've actually practiced.
So would you say you have full confidence in him to pull those kind of shots in a game this
Absolutely.
year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Coach.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks,
Bayo.
Brad.